What do you mean it sucks?
This pepper beef is too damn spicy.
What are you talking about? This is good.
There we good. What's it going, guys? What's going on, guys? Pepper Beef Too Spicy. Hope you guys are doing alright. In this special episode of Tekken Quick Tips, we're gonna do a special live edition where I play the game while trying to explain to you guys the concept. So this serves a purpose, and the purpose is that we're gonna talk about a special topic that you don't really need practice mode to really show. And it's because it's probably better shown by just me playing the game. And today's episode, today's episode, we're gonna talk about how do you improve progressively in Tekken, how to have a progressive mindset, and how to generally make sure that whatever you're doing, you are actually being useful and you're getting better at the game. So one of the things that that's a very, very generic way to describe things. Okay, well, how do I get better at Tekken? It was well, some people told me I have to work on my movement. Some people told me I have to get a better combo. I have to do this and that and whatnot. There's so many things you could do to get better at Tekken. And honestly, those are all fine and dandy. Getting good at movement, getting good at knowing when to step, getting good at having the optimal combos and whatnot. That's all great things. But the thing that makes everything come together is whether you are progressing, whether you are playing with an active, progressive mentality. What does this mean? Well, when you play Tekken or any fighting game, or I guess it applies to almost anything in life, you want to have two approaches to it, two criteria that you must fulfill before you actually start, making sure that whatever you're doing is productive, right? So the two things to do is, one, you need to be having fun. If you're not having fun, then you're just wasting your time. Because if you're not even fun doing this, why are you even doing it in the first place, right? So the second reason is you need to be playing with the intention to learn while you play, aka play to learn. What I mean by this is that while you are playing, you need to make an active decision to be aware of things that you wish that you could do better. Doesn't matter what it is, offensively, defensively, knowledge, whatever. My backdash needs to be better, my punishment needs to be better, my situational control needs to be better, what I do in this situation, etc, needs to be better, and so on and so on and so forth. So, for example, I'm playing against, wow, pretty laggy, Ling Xiaoyu player right now, right? Just randomly on player match, and it's incredibly laggy right now, but regardless, there are things that I need to work on in this matchup. Even though that I know Ling pretty well, there are still things that I don't do the best in this matchup. For example, Leo versus Xiaoyu is not the best matchup, so I need to be aware of using moves that are not gonna really work in this matchup. For example, using back 1-4 is something that you should not use in this matchup. If I was me from, let's say, maybe 10 months ago or something like that, I would be using back 1-4 in this matchup when I really shouldn't be, because really Ling Xiaoyu nullifies it pretty easy by having AOP, which nullifies that. Also, there are things like this. For example, that move I did not punish for a very long time when I first started playing Tekken. Rain Dance 4 is launch punishable on block, but I never punished it correctly. That move is right there. That is an example of something that I need to be better at. He used forward 1+2, which is a shoulder, which is launch punishable, and I should not have jabbed that. I should have just straight up down forward 2'd that right away. So, there are many examples of this. I don't want to focus too much on me playing him. It's just an example of me, trying to learn things, but whenever you're playing, you need to focus very much on make sure you play the best Tekken you could possibly play. If you, let's say, you're fighting against Mishima and they do Hell Sweep, but you don't launch when you block it, and you have a bad habit of not launching it when you block it, alright? So, instead of being okay, well, maybe one day I'll get good at it, don't say that. No, you have to make an active decision in your head, maybe even just say it to yourself physically, alright, the next time he does Hell Sweep, I'm gonna launch it. And that's how it starts, You start making these active missions for yourself, alright, in this match, my goal is to not use Hell Sweep and to win without using Hell Sweep, How do you, people ask me, how do you get, unlearn bad habits. Okay, let's say, okay, I'm not gonna do full crouch down 4-3 after quarter circle forward 1, or I'm not gonna, you know, every time I'm on defense, I'm not gonna parry. Like, I'm gonna not use parry, and I'm gonna not use parry for the rest of like 5 games or something like that. That's how you unlearn bad habits, by training yourself to get used to not doing bad habits. And it's not just about bad habits either. For example, if this Ling were to do sidestep 3, which is about negative 37 or so on block, I would wall standing to it. Most likely I would wall standing to it. However, doing wall standing 2 is actually not the best thing I can do to it. I can actually delayed hop kick it. However, I've not trained myself to delayed hop kick it, so I'm probably not going to. However, that's something, well, I does it every time. That's something that I should be doing. If I want to play optimal Tekken, I should be using, I should be using delayed hop kick on super minus on block moves. However, I haven't done it yet. So, I should also break that throw. So there are all these like weaknesses, not necessarily it has to be weakness, but these things that, you know, I could be doing better, you know. There's all these things that I'm missing an opportunity here, I'm not getting enough reward here, I'm not dealing with this as good as I should be. Like if I'm getting pressured, I'm not sidestepping, or I'm not, you know, I'm not backdashing enough, or my backdash is weak, or, you know, I'm choosing this panic option way too much. You need to have an awareness of how your flaws are coming into place, right? Like that. For example, I used to not be able to deal with that throw, and that's because I didn't know. I couldn't react to it, and I still couldn't react to it there, but it's online, so it's okay. But seeing that that was the combo starting throw, I broke it, which was hold down, and that allowed me to turn around and not really take that much damage for the throw. However, if you were to tell me, like, you know, once again, like, let's say a couple of years ago, like, oh, how do you deal with this throw? I'd be like, I don't know, because at the time, I didn't know how to deal with that throw, because every time I got thrown by that move, I would just take it, and I'd be like, gee, that sucks. But since then, I've had a more progressive mentality, and I was like, okay, well, that's really, really, really annoying. I'm gonna learn how to deal with it. And once I figured out in training mode that I have to either break 2 or hold down, there's also another break, I forget what the input for that is. I'm gonna, okay, when I fight a Xiaoyu player, I'm gonna make it my mission that if I get thrown by that attack, I'm gonna hold down, no matter what. So even if you're losing a lot, you know, to whoever it may be, Joe Schmo or JDCR, if they do things where you do not, you know, you're not comfortable or you're not doing the best that you could possibly be, the next time you play Tekken, you have to make it an active side quest or whatever to be like, I'm gonna fix this. Like, it has to happen now. And, you know, me learning progressively, like, slower things, for example, the forward 4 wall standing 1-4-1 ender, I used to only do that out of certain enders, but now I can do it on clean wall splats, which is really good. Or most clean wall splats anyways. It's kind of like this one, for example. Like, I could not do this before, but now I know when I can do it. So, you need to make it your mission to make sure you work on those things. That's how you progressively get better, because honestly, just going into online and mashing online or whatever, see, I should have ducked that. Also, that was a good block. I should have ducked that and he would have been dead. But going into online and just mashing ranked or mashing player match over and over and over again can help, but it's not everything you could be doing, you know? There is more things that you could be doing to get better at this game. And even if you, let's say you play against, you know, like a matchup that you really, really, really know really well, right? For my case, of course, that would be like, let's say one of my own characters. It would be Paul for me. It would be Claudio, the characters I know really well, or Xiaoyu even. I know this character really well. Even if you know like all the stuff that you should be doing and you're already practicing it, you could always practice like how to fight, you know, a player. And by that may mean is like ranked to me personally is not like a 100% indicator of actual skill. Like I've played like the coveted like Genbu rank, right? I've played so many like Genbus that were not really up to the myth of how Genbus are supposed to play, right? It was not really that good, or in my opinion. So it could use some work. I should have blocked that. But what does matter in ranked, however, is your ability to adapt to the enemy, to the opponent, right? If you adapt to the opponent, because it takes many wins against your own rank to rank up. So if you, let's say you're Genbu and you played against Overlord, you need like twice the amount of wins it would take to rank up against your own rank to rank up to Byaku or Overlord to Genbu or whatever. So that means that you must win in streaks. And the adaptation here I'm talking about is that if you keep playing the same person, with luck, they are not that dumb, and they start adapting, you know, they start changing how they play, and such and so forth, and you need to start changing how you play in order to beat their adaptation. And by playing ranked, you are not only working on your knowledge of the game and your responses, your muscle memory, and all these things that will make you play good Tekken, but you're also learning how to defeat the enemy opponent's mind. You know, you're learning how to outplay them. It's like, well, I'm gonna keep adapting and changing the way I play until you run out of steam, you run out of mental capability, and you no longer can adapt, and I'm just gonna win. You know, so that's how deathmatches work. If you're not familiar with a deathmatch in Tekken, it means that it's when two players of close or the same rank, mostly the same rank for a true deathmatch, play each other for a long period of time until someone or both of them changes ranks. Usually until just one person changes ranks. Death matches can go on for a short time, or they can go on for a very long time, especially if the players are close in skill. Because the point system in Tekken to rank up means that you must have X number of points to win, to rank up. And you can lose those points if you start losing to someone of your rank or close rank or whatever. So that means that you must win in streaks. You must win in streaks in order to rank up. So that means that you must stay ahead of their game. And in tournament, this is especially noteworthy because anyway, it's noteworthy in tournament because in tournament most of the time it's first to 2. And so that must mean that you must defeat your opponent in best of 3 games. And that's very difficult, even for some of the best players in the world. First to 2 is very, very chaotic, and people can get away with a lot of stuff. There are people that you could beat them like 20-0 in a tournament, I mean, in an offline set, you know, just casually, but, you know, you'll lose the first 2 games, and in tournament, that would have meant a lot. So, my point here is that ranked or player match, I could have done another one, that was a bad decision. Ranked or player match or whatever, it teaches not only your ability to, like, you know, play good Tekken against your character, make sure you're whiffing punishing them, make sure you're backdashing correctly, make sure you're sidestepping, make sure you're breaking throws, make sure you're ducking the right things, make sure you're punishing optimally all the time, making sure that your offense is not too predictable, making sure that, you know, you're being aware of your spacing, all these things that make good Tekken, yes. But it also trains your ability to outthink the opponent, outplay them, outread them, and, you know, just overcome them mentally. So that's all part of it too. The thing that I'm talking about in the beginning is how do you make sure that you're getting better? Well, you get better through learning how to deal with things and making sure that you know, say to yourself, I'm gonna do them. And also, you get better by, like, learning how to adapt better. It's like learning to focus in on what your opponent is doing and how do you counter that. It's one thing to... It's multiple steps, right? It's, I'm going to learn how to read my opponent. I'm going to learn how they react to what I'm doing and what they do to me in response, or how they just do things to me in general. And I'm going to learn, once I learn how to do that, I'm going to learn how to... That was not the right punish. I'm gonna learn how to defeat that. You know, I'm gonna learn to choose the best option to defeat that. And then the third step is, if I keep doing this option to them that beats them, what's their next response, and how do I beat that? And, you know, that's how you get stronger and stronger and stronger Tekken players. You know, you see your Jimmy J Trans, your JDCRs, your Tishumons or Blackbeards or whatever, you know, you have all these, like, or Knee, all these really great players, right? And they didn't get that way overnight. They practiced a lot of Tekken, and not just in training mode. Training mode is very important too. It's like half the equation, maybe even more than half. But you need to make sure that if you're just playing the game, playing randoms, playing someone familiar, you need to be working on something, you know? The only time you don't need to be working on something, I guess, is if you're in tournament. Because at that point you should be focusing 110% on winning the game, and you can worry about learning after the fact. Like, you know, like let's say you lost a tournament set or whatever, you can worry about the fact that you need to improve on that stuff after you have lost the match. So don't worry about, you know, learning too much in that environment, like in the moment. But if you are just playing like casually or deathmatch or whatever, you want to make sure that you're learning the right things to do. You know, you want to make sure that everything you do has purpose. And like I said, how do you do that? Just make it an active decision, you know? Active decision. Say it to yourself. It helps, trust me. Saying stuff to yourself out loud does actually help you remember to do things and let you work on it. And it's really something. When you realize that you are actually improving because you are doing certain things like that you didn't used to do, or you stop doing things that you shouldn't be doing, it's really a great feeling, and it, you know, it makes you want to improve even more, and it keeps you sharp, and it keeps you playing better with the game. So it's good. It's an overall really good thing. And because there's so many things to improve on in Tekken, it's really like a very, very, very thing that will keep you occupied for a very, very long time, because there's just so much to do in Tekken that, you know, there's so many ways to improve, and thankfully this game is so much in depth. So if you want to get good at it, you got a lot of things to do. With that being said, I think that's all that I have to say about that. Mentally, both out-reading an opponent and learning how to, you know, making your game more optimal. Just, you know, just say, I'm gonna do it. And make sure when you're playing a match, you're thinking. If you're autopiloting, you're not gonna be able to do it. If you're autopiloting, like I probably am right now because I'm talking, but if you are, you know, just non-focused and distracted, no, you gotta be focused. When you're trying to do this, you gotta be focused, you gotta be, you know, eyes on the game, and you gotta be like, alright, now I'm gonna get better. It's my time to get better at the game. You can't, like, you know, be answering your Facebook messages or whatnot, or trying to, like, pick up your girl. That's a bad habit of me, right? I haven't broken that habit yet. But it's a good, like, trick, but it's still a bad habit. Or whatever. So, you know, just work on it. And when I mean work on it, I mean really work on it. It's like a sport, you know? Just really work on it. With that being said, I'll just let you finish the rest of this match, and then I'll see you guys later. Let's see if I can. Cool. That was sick. I've never done that before. Oh, but I fucked that up though. Dead. It could also be a playstyle thing. Like one day you could learn to play really aggressively, and then another day you could learn to play really defensively, or like learning to play without your favorite moves or whatnot, you know, or learning to play without throws, or you know, that's probably a really interesting thing for a King player, is learning to play without throws, because you know that's pretty much what Little Majin does. So really, really interesting. All right, he got wrecked. So thanks. I don't know if I'm going to show his name or not, but anyways, thanks guys for watching, and hope this helps out, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks.